Yo, yo, yo. How we doing, everybody? Hope we're having a fantastic Friday. Gonna go live here to answer some questions for a second. Yeah, and if you're watching on the replay, make sure you're signed up for the free Amazon class on Wednesday night. Links down below. About 2 hours of value for you, Q&A, tons of product research, sauce, all that kind of stuff that we don't typically share for free. So go ahead and check that out if you're on the replay. But we'll give it a second to let everybody trickle on in here. Yeah, let me know what Amazon questions you have. I'm hanging out here for probably 20-30 minutes at least. What's up, Zolfa? Hope you're having a good Friday, everybody. So let me know what I can help with out on Amazon. I was just filming some videos for you guys, some cool stuff on the way, some product research, figuring out how much to buy. I've been getting a lot of questions on like trying to figure out how much to buy of a product, so I did like a whole video on that. So lots of good stuff in the pipeline for you. Make sure you watch the video that came out yesterday as well if you wanted to get into wholesale. I talked to a local supplier who does like grocery, all kinds of stuff up here in Wisconsin. So that was super cool. Got to get his opinion on like how to approach a supplier from a supplier's perspective. So go watch that video too. Yeah, what's up, Scott? How you doing, man? Everybody's having a fantastic day. Yeah, a couple good places to source to if you're watching live. Like Puma's pretty decent today. Yeah, let me know what questions you guys got. Would you advise buying a specific variation with a suppressed buy box, no selling history? Yeah, good question. Yeah, what up, Miles? Let me know if you want the link. I can email. Good questions, Alpha. I would sell that if it has a history of no buy box. Then that means like the listing's used to not having a buy box, so you can rip it on that. That's the type of stuff that people are like scared of selling pretty often for some reason. What up, Sadiq? How's it going, man? I saw your picture on Twitter, the old lab when you had just had boxes to the absolute ceiling. They look terrifying. But yeah, sell that, Zolfa. You'll be good. Gentleman had some good advice. Yeah, exactly. No, it was super cool. I went to film with my friend Chris. That video is already out. Chris is awesome. Doing massive wholesale numbers, all that kind of stuff. And one of his suppliers was just like hanging out. He's like, "Hey, can I film too?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure. Like, why not?" And it was awesome. Got some good stuff for you guys there. You're on your fourth Adidas Ungating request submission. Is that normal? That is not unusual. It took me 2 recently. On the right, like when they regated some of the Adidas products randomly. It took me 2, but what worked for me was tracking number, invoice from Adidas.com, and then also make a case with Amazon at the same time and say, "Yo, I'm already approved in Adidas. We just submitted this case. Can you review it with that in mind?" I don't know if that actually helps, but I've heard a lot of people who got approved have been saying that. So might be something to look into. What up, Joe? Hope life's good. You back at home or are you on the road again? We haven't talked in a second. Ralph said you got a sale from a 40K sales rank product, not a 3K sales rank product. Products are sold in weeks. Buy box stats are distributed evenly. Yeah, good question. Are you in like an FBM offer and there's no buy box going to FBM? I'm trying to think what else it could be. I assume your price has been within the buy box, at least for the majority of the time. Those would be kind of the 2 big levers. I would imagine it would be one of those. But yeah, it's probably buy box, something like that. Your FBA. You're on back. You might be on back order or something like that. Then check and make sure you're not on back order. Should you organize your business in a sales tax free state? You can, unless you're talking about like forming LLC, all that kind of stuff. Like I would talk to a CPA on that kind of stuff, man. There's specific rules involved in like where you can and can't have companies and all that kind of stuff. Might not even matter the way you form it, right? So talk to a CPA on that kind of stuff. That's not my expertise there, my friend. That's like the world of paying taxes and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty much harder than actually making the money. How do you check if you're back order? Go to your inventory tab and click the unit, the like quantity of left in stock. It'll probably say like pending or transfer or something like that. Um, Good ungating websites to provide any website you can ungate. As long as they list your address on it, that is all you need. The other things can help, like if they list like a brand logo, like I just used the Adidas.com invoice for Adidas ungating. So like they like seeing that branded invoice, all that kind of stuff. Beyond that, just got to list your invoice on it or just your address on it. I was working with a prep center on tax-free state. Make too much difference on profit. Yeah, it'll help, Rodolfo, especially if you're paying a lot in sales tax right now. Like if you're paying anything, to be honest, let's say you're paying, standards like 6-7% in a lot of states. You're paying, what, like a buck 30 or something like that on a $20 item. So instead you can pay somebody about that buck 25, buck 50 to prep the items for you. So that's the difference it's making there. So then obviously anything that's more expensive than that, like a pair of shoes or electronics, or anytime you're buying something expensive, definitely save you money. It's available. I'm not sure, man. Try like a coupon, something like that. Like it can only be a couple things. So like, yeah, it's got to be one of those things. Buy box, seller count, all that kind of stuff. Googling products, what discount do you assume you can get? You used to source at break even price and assume 30%. I love that way of thinking about it. Like I assume you're like looking through storefronts and like assuming that you can get 30%, that kind of thing. That would be a pretty good discount. It's not unreasonable though. Like what I will say is you want to start thinking of some different like brackets for like the types of discounts you need for certain items, right? So like for example, anytime I see a Nike sale that's 20% or more, I know to source there. Anytime there's a vitamin sale that's like, like 30 or 40% or more, I'm going to source there. A grocery sale might be worth it at 10%, but a vitamin sale at 10% is almost never going to be worth it. So it's that kind of stuff. Like the more you source, the more you'll kind of understand, like, even specific brands like Adidas, got to have 25 or 30. Puma, you probably want to have that 30 code on, like all that kind of stuff. And then also make a Google sheet with the different sites that you're finding sales on and record the best sales you've ever seen. That way you can know, like you're pulling up a sale, like, oh, Puma's 30% today. That's the best I've ever seen. Let me source there. Kind of a good way to spend your time in the places that have lower prices than they typically do, basically. Not knowing what site you'll get it from, you would assume. Yeah, it depends. It like if I assume you're talking like storefront stocking. So yeah, you could usually assume at least 10%. You should be able to find 10% with a catch-all on pretty much any site. Beat your section 3 using your guide video. Thanks. That's amazing, Lona. That's awesome. Yeah, it's kind of annoying that they're sending out more of those. But I still haven't heard of anyone who's lost their section 3 if they're buying legit inventory, which is good. Um, yeah, glad you got out of there. It's time to feed the beast now. Let's buy some product. Let's get it going. Christian, I do not believe you asked me a question, my friend. I got an FBM order and USPS couldn't deliver it because there's no apartment number. They're sending it back. What do you do? Only customers in. Nothing. It'll come back to you, and you'll just be able to sell it to another seller. Caesar. Kind of annoying. I would assume you're probably out the shipping cost. I don't know if there's a way to get that back. That one's pretty rare. Should we always match with a featured price in order to stay in the buy box? No, Eric. You can win the buy box like way above the featured price or the current buy box, all that kind of stuff. Like you'll see items where the buy box price will hop all over the place, and you might only want the top 10% of that range, and you make the most profitable sales. You can let other people make the less profitable sales. Um, but yeah, make sure you're diving in your repricer and stuff like that on there too. Like excluding, like if you're an FBA seller, you probably don't want to compete with FBM sellers because you can charge higher prices. If they have no feedback, you can charge higher prices, all that kind of stuff. If you buy direct from Adidas store, so the invoice doesn't have your address, can you still get it? If you buy directly from Adidas website, it will work. If you're buying at a store, it won't. I do ungate if it needs to be prepped to shipped to a prep center. Make the billing address your business address, and then your shipping address will be your prep center address. So then it proves on the invoice that it's your stuff. And it doesn't need to have a picture either, unless you're doing category ungating, in which case just ask for your prep center for a picture. How can you check SellerAmp keep it for a product that's out of stock when you select? Yeah, Ralph, go to the variation wizard. Like anytime you guys are looking for, let's say you have a pair of shoes, the size 11, black and white is out of stock for some reason, probably sell on almost any listing. Take the ASIN of any product that does exist, go to the variation wizard on Seller Central, and it'll list all the variations that have ever existed, even if they're currently out of stock. So then just do like Control F for like the color name or the size you're looking for, and then going from there. But yeah, there's lots of gems to be made there. Somebody sent me a lead this morning. They were thinking about buying where there's like one size of the shoe is currently in stock, but there was like 5 or 6 more that are out of stock that were all profitable in the past. So they're gonna be the only seller on that listing for quite a while, I would assume. What up, Tommy? Yeah, sweet, Eric. Yeah. Take advantage of that there. Good price range for prep centers. But like $1 to $2 is pretty standard. If you're shipping a ton of stuff, it should be closer to $1. If you're shipping almost nothing, 50, 100 units a month, that kind of thing, it'll probably be closer to 2. And then also anytime, let's say you're buying a whole bunch of units of one product, ask for a discount on prep on that specific unit because it makes it way easier for them to prep when it's all the same thing. So you might be able to get some discounted prep if you're doing all the same thing. Yes, those invoices will work. Yeah, Amanda, fire away. What's up? Good to see you. It was good to see you in Miami. Should you do wholesale or OA? It's like start with OA, Isaac. Wholesale is it's very front loaded. So you could make one call and land the supplier that you land tons of profitable products through. You could make 500 calls before you land that first wholesaler that actually makes you profitable, right? So you don't want to be stuck in that infinite call loop if that's your only source of income. So go to just websites, that kind of stuff. Yeah, websites, all that good stuff. Learn the basics. Once you're hitting, 75, 80% of your products are successful, then start calling up the supply, start calling the brands. Say, who is your distributor in, say you live in Iowa, who's your local distributors in Iowa for Dove, right? And then you're probably not going to buy directly from Dove, but they'll probably give you the distributors for their products that are in your area. Christopher, you are not asking any question, my friend. You've said issue and you have said you skipped my question. I am not ignoring questions, my friend. Let's see. Yeah, y'all are firing away there. Hope you guys are having a good one. Have a good little Friday here. I also want to remind you that if you have not got your name on the list yet, we got the free Amazon class going down on Wednesday night. It's 2 hours of free value for you, kind of going step by step. So a lot of these like beginner questions, we answer all of it and show you a bunch more information that we typically don't share on YouTube. So go ahead and check out the free class. It's Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Those are always a blast. Let's see. You've been doing FBM. Have a listing is lowest FBM price with a 10K rank. Haven't gotten orders a couple days. It's probably all hogged by FBA sales if I had to guess. Money mindsets. Go to SellerAmp, check buy box statistics, and then check type. And I would guess that it's all going to FBA. If not, then you need to make your shipping template better. And I've got a video on the channel that walks you through that. Basically, you probably just need to like lower the time estimates on how long it takes to get into certain places, right? And then you'll get the buy box more. For SellerAmp, when it calculates shipping fees, does include the placement fees. Yeah, Nathan. So you can toggle that in the back end of SellerAmp. It'll include all that for you. Why haven't you been re-ungated? Did you make a case with Amazon? Did you call Amazon? Did you submit the tracking info along with the invoice? Have you submitted the invoice as soon as you get denied every time? Like all that kind of stuff. You should have had time to do probably 7 to 10 ungate requests by now, which one of those would have gone through. Yes, but keep at it. Keep submitting. There's probably more you can do on your end. Zara, soccer.com, asos.com, or nike.com invoice if you're trying to do Nike. What happens when a product's enrolled in transparency, but the products that came don't have the transparency codes? You don't buy products that are in the transparency program unless you're buying directly from the brand. Products are not going to have the transparency codes on them unless they know that they're going to be sold online, and typically not going to happen unless they sell directly to you. So there's like a wholesale product that we carry that we have the transparency codes because we buy directly from the brand. That's you just can't sell products with transparency codes. It's usually like a really fast selling product kind of thing. So if you already bought something like that, then sell it on the multi-pack. There's probably a multi-pack for almost anything that's transparency coded. Quickest place to get ungated in grocery. Nathan, anywhere that sells grocery products. Anywhere you find them profitable. That's it. Get an issue with product does not qualify while listing a product. It's probably a brand that's not accepting ungating requests, Tommy. So all that kind of stuff, just as you guys are sourcing, make sure your SellerAmp is open and your seller account, and it'll in the eligible box, it'll tell you what you can and can't sell. So just make sure you're buying stuff that you can sell, and if you can't sell it, then go in and try to auto ungate it. Sweet, yeah, y'all are rolling here on a nice little Friday afternoon. Probably have to go hit a little walk. Been doing like a nice little hour walk every day. Try to get out, explore a little bit. It's finally not freezing cold up here. And then we'll be back down in Miami before too long. Sweet. Yeah, Amanda. How do you give access to your credit card for the VA purchases? I don't let virtual assistants spend money, at least at a buying scale. They'll like buy software and that kind of stuff sometimes, but I hire an American to buy all my product. Because like if you're ready to hire a buyer, you're probably spending at least $4,000 or $5,000 a day. Otherwise, it's not worth it. You can just do it in an hour or so. And then at that point, it's worth it for you to pay somebody in America 30 to 40 an hour, pay them decently well to be much more efficient, much more trustworthy. Can be a family friend, that kind of thing. That's just my personal thoughts on the hiring a VA buyer, that kind of thing. You're also gonna have a lot harder order cancel problems. Like you'll just be fighting a lot more fires if you hire an overseas buyer. Do review count / ratings have an effect on buy box share? Basically, like once you have your first rating, it's not really going to affect too much more. As far as buy box share and all that. So yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about it after you get your first review. If you don't have your first review yet, you can go to like the view orders tab. And then on every order detail page, there is a button that says request review. How do you get to the free call on Wednesday? Yeah, so I'll put the link in the chat. It's also in the description. We got the free Amazon class on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, breaking down kind of the full step-by-step process. So all the product sourcing, ungating, what do I need to get my account set up? We walk you through everything you need to know, 0 to 10K a month. It's always a good time. So check that out. Best Amazon business model to start for a little bit about just like a little bit of money. If you're in Pakistan, probably none of them. You're gonna have to either do online arbitrage or wholesale, so you can keep it all online. I would start a service-based business, man. If you're watching here, you probably know how to like source products. So especially if you're in Pakistan, I would be like a virtual assistant for 6 months, a year, learn the business, build up some capital, and then start it on your own if that's what you want to do. But if you don't have very much money, it's not going to work, unfortunately. Amazon does take effort. It does take money. It's not a can't just spawn it out of nowhere, unfortunately. Mention you share profits with VAs. Do you delegate access to view inventory you purchase based on their leads? Yeah. So at the end of every month, they get the report of all of their ASINs, right, and what each one made. And then we also have our team lead. He looks over the leads with them, right? So he'll look at top 3, middle 3, and worst 3 products that they sourced every month, and each kind of bracket teaches you some different lessons. Obviously the best will be what to double down on. The middle will be kind of, here's this tank to break even. Here's why, we need to look for more coupons next time. And then typically the least profitable will just be, this was the wrong item. It got returned a bunch, that kind of thing. Let's see. Amazon use the ASIN for the large size to request ungate. No, that's not an issue, Christopher. Yeah, that's kind of a misconception. If you guys are trying to ungate anything, the product itself that you buy doesn't even have to be listed on Amazon. Ungates are not tied to an ASIN, so like you could buy a product that's not even on Amazon. There's no reason to. You can just buy stuff that's profitable. But yeah. What up, Carlos? How's it going? You don't need that, David. It's unnecessary. Do you always have to polybag multi-packs, or can you just put them in a box? You can put them in a box, Will. It's just typically more expensive to box them. So like if you do, yeah, if you do box, then go for it. But it's typically cheaper and faster to polybag. Sometimes like a shampoo or something like that, it'll break, that kind of thing. Any plans for an intermediate class? That is the FBA Roadmap, my friend Wayne. So the free class take you to 10K a month. Roadmap takes you to 100K a month, basically. So hopefully you're already in there, but that's what you're looking for otherwise. Hard to get ungated in Hazmat. Not really, Rodolfo. You go to like your seller account, like do this today. You want to get on the wait list. Search like dangerous goods up in the top. And then put yourself on the wait list, and then go find like a perfume, it's called like fragrance net, something like that. Like there's a couple. Is that the right? I'm trying to see. Fragrance net. There's some decent like perfumes you can buy there. Buy some profitable ones, FBM those, and you'll get bumped up the Hazmat wait list faster. 60 cents you have in seller isn't for placement fees. How do you estimate that? You should only be paying 60 cents a pound if you're using Amazon optimized shipments. If you're using placement fees, then your per pound will be lower, but you'll pay placement fees, Nathan. So I would just leave it on Amazon optimized and 60 cents a pound, and then just make sure you're not paying placement fees. Basically like Amazon optimized will make you make more shipments, but you end up paying more per pound, basically, because there's more smaller boxes. Let's see. Thanks for support. You got it done. Bang. Hope you're having a good one, Carlos. Hitting that nice little you hitting a nice little Miami walk today. Have to. I do a little bit of consulting, Andre. I think the link's down below. Just kind of hourly if you want to book that. But yeah, if you're not already in the roadmap, there's a lot better value there. If you're needing some help, Andrea. Can you go out scanning, or do you have to ungate online first? Yeah, so you can't ungate with a retail receipt done through like at the Nike outlet or something, right? But you can if it's an online invoice from Nike.com, for example, right? Because it lists your invoice, it lists your address and information on it. It lists Nike's information on it. So it's going to work for ungating, and then you can go out and scan those products. You'd also be surprised. There's a lot of the stuff that we find in stores are auto ungates. So you can like punch in the brand that is there, and you might get automatically approved to sell it. They're kind of typically like smaller brands out in the wild that you find at like Marshalls and all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't let that slow you down. And then yeah, if you there's also a list below me. It's in the Amazon Launchpad down below. It's a free auto ungating list. There's like 1,800 brands in there with ASINs that you can test, see if you can get auto ungated in. You'll be surprised how many brands you can unlock right away. Is there a way to know prep requirements before listing an item? It's fairly straightforward. Like if it's a liquid, you'll polybag it. If it's hazmat, you'll ship it via like ground. You can't ship it through Amazon, basically. I mean, that's basically it. Prep, yeah, you can multi-pack, you polybag that too. Like if it's a liquid, same thing. Sweet. How often does regating happen after being ungated? I've seen it happen twice ever. Once with Nike like 4 years ago, and once with Adidas like last week. Don't worry, it's not a common thing. It was a mistake on Amazon's end because they weren't kicking people out. They wasn't a regating at all. It was a reclassification of some Adidas products to $ Adidas. It was not a regating at all. They just moved the brand, and then it made the ungating system think that there was a new brand that you needed to ungate. Just some some Amazon bureaucracy, some Amazon headache to deal with. If you like making money with less headaches, then you should just go get a job for 40 years. Transparently, it's not going to be easy, but beating some headaches is well worth not sitting at the cubicle, in my mind at least. Watch the video with the wholesaler. Yeah, he's not selling. He doesn't sell to Amazon sellers. Maybe that's a challenge. You can go try his approach to him. But he's just being helpful. They don't want to sell to you. How long does it take for first payment for Amazon? Your first payment, I believe, is delayed by 2 weeks. So I think it takes a month to get your first payment. Whoa, that was weird. A month to get your first payment, and then every 2 weeks, after that, you get paid. And then eventually you get daily payouts. That comes after anywhere from a couple months to a year. You'll get paid out every day for the sales that happened 2 weeks ago. That's how it works. Can you check when someone just bought something, see it was refunded? Tom, there's like go to like the returns report. I think is what it's called on Seller Central, and it'll show you a big list of all the returns that have been requested, who actually sent it back, what returns went out, what refunds went out, what refunds got reversed, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, they should deny automatically over 30 days unless it is like if it's during Q4, the return window is extended, I think to 90 days. I want to say, I think it's extended to the end of January, starting in November, something like that. It's either 60 or 90 days, but it's longer during that. Quick checklist for repeated ungate declines. Yeah. If you're getting, declines, then like highlight, like you're saying, highlight price, highlight item name, attach the tracking number, attach a new invoice from a different supplier that is the same brand that you also bought profitably, that kind of thing. Rename the file, should be good after that. Yeah, it'll come, Teresa. It's probably just in reserve right now. You can see where all your money is. Like go to the transaction report or like the payments tab. It'll tell you your estimated payment date, where all your money is, where it's gone. Like it's fairly simple to read. It's like a nice little flow chart you can look at. Good time to get a prep center. I don't know if it's really like down to ASINs, Amanda. It's more just like how much time are you spending prepping. Like if you're like the nice little litmus test is if you're spending time putting stickers on things when you've got money sitting in the bank that you should be spending that time spending money on product, then it'll save you more money in the long run to start paying somebody to prep it for you. If you have no idea what you'd be buying or you're limited on money and you're trying to stretch it as far as possible, then don't get a prep center. But since you've been in the game for a while, it probably makes sense for you to get prep. Yeah, you can if you shoot me like a Twitter DM or something, I can hook you up with a prep center too, Amanda. What happens if a fragile item breaks in transit to the Amazon warehouse? That would be your fault, James. You need to package the item so that the fragile items don't break. Yeah, within reason, it is your fault, unless you can prove that Amazon broke it at the warehouse and you'd already tested it with like the 6 foot drop test. Basically, is what you want to do. You're able to drop your items from 6 feet multiple times and nothing happens. For that reason, I don't typically like to sell a lot of fragile stuff, but there's definitely profit to be made there if you do want to deal with it. Because there's people who are too lazy to deal with it, like me. Everything you scanned, do submit to Ungate. It's a lot of brands. You can get auto ungated. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can get a lot auto ungated. I'm glad you're seeing that already. When you're brand new invested all your capital, should you sit around waiting for first payment? Yeah, pretty much, Anthony. And I was also selling really cheap stuff. So like if you have 500, $1,000, that kind of thing, you're going to grow way slower if you start doing online arbitrage versus just like hitting the thrift stores, buying stuff at yard sales, like used electronics, books, video games, all that kind of stuff. You can buy for, a couple bucks and flip for way more. If you are waiting on money to sit around, then you should find ways to spend more time to turn that into money, basically. Whether that's do Amazon with like cheaper products, or start a service business on the side and, video editing, thumbnails, like, agencies for Amazon sellers, all that kind of stuff, right? That's your other option. But if you're capital limited, you got to figure out a way to turn your time into more money, a job, that kind of thing. There's a out of the box idea. I don't think so, niece. Yeah, sweet. So probably do a couple more questions here. Make sure you guys are signed up for the free Amazon class on Wednesday night as well. Tons of good beginner info. Even if you're a more advanced seller, we dive into some stuff like Keepa alerts and Keepa product finder, some other more advanced sourcing methods that you probably haven't seen anywhere else. So again, that link's in the chat if you guys want to come to the free Amazon class on Wednesday. Those are always a blast. Biggest clothing items that get returned. Yeah, to be honest, I stopped buying like shirts and pants. Just because people rip the tag off, they'll try them on, and then you can't sell it anymore. I know a lot of people did the opposite, except they stopped selling shoes. I started buying more shoes because when people try on shoes, they're not like, you can still resell them basically. Like, maybe they got a scuff on the bottom, you scrub it off in 2 seconds and you're good. Compared to the people ripping the tags off of shirts and stuff. Now we'll still buy all that kind of stuff. It just needs to have higher ROI. Anytime there's increased risk, just make sure there's increased profit to pay for it. Questions you recommend to vet your prep center? Yeah, good question, Aaron. Just one thing I would really recommend is if you're buying a lot from certain sites, make sure they get packages from that site so that they're like, make sure their address isn't banned. Say your favorite website to buy from is Target. Make sure they get Target boxes and that Target doesn't have their address banned. What's suppressed mean in the pie chart on SellerAmp buy box share? It means there was no buy box. So if it's always suppressed, then it doesn't really change anything. If it has recently become suppressed, then the price will probably drop because there's no more button that says add to cart. Sweet. Convince the brand it allows to sell a product on Amazon. I mean, yeah, Tommy, that's down to like you're gonna have to pitch them some value, right? So hey, we'll run PPC ads, we'll buy products that no one's listed on Amazon, we'll make the listings for it. We'll optimize the current listings you do have. Like that's some high level stuff, but you could definitely make some money there. Sweet. Yeah, so been going for a nice little 30 minutes here. I'll probably go ahead and wrap up at this point then. Make sure you guys are coming to the free Amazon class on Wednesday night. Love the energy and stream this afternoon. It's been a nice little 30-minute on a Friday afternoon. So you guys are clearly the hustlers. So let's get after it, fellas. Hope everybody has a good weekend. Spend some time on your business. Spend some time making future you richer and happier this weekend. The extra hour of Netflix can wait. But there'll be plenty of time for that after you got a nice little side income coming in. So let's make it happen, guys. Thanks for asking.